Hey, y'all, this is Kix Brooks, and you are listening to Rick's House, everything you need to know about home improvement. Here comes Rick.
Good Saturday morning to you. Welcome into Rick's House. Thanks for joining us on the program. Okay, just making sure it's working. Hey, ya mama and them. We get up and get at it, get ready. We got a great show lined up for you today. We're excited about that. I got my nephew with me today. White, tell him good morning, son.
Morning.
All right. He's going to be telling us all about White just got back from the Special Olympics. He and his brother in Gatlinburg. And White competed in snow skiing, and his brother did snowboarding. And so we're going to find out some stuff about that today. What a great job our Special Olympics folks do here and across the state. And White also went and competed in Florida on the Knox Vegas team, as they call it. Isn't that what you call it, White?
Yes, sir.
That's what they call it. Brother Skip, how be ye?
I be great.
Fantastic.
Loving this warmer weather today and warmer weather that's coming. Don't like the fog this morning, but I like the warmer weather.
Well, I must confess, I do like the warmer weather this morning. Although it was a little tricky getting out of the field this morning when it was a little slippery. Slippery, he said. That's from Major Payne. You remember that movie, Major Payne? Slippery, he said. Slippery, he said. Yeah. And so we got that going on this morning. You can call us. We'd love to hear from you this morning. 865-932-7449. That's how you reach us on the program. 865-932-7449. And I'm going to see if my lovely bride has, I must confess, I left out of the house this morning. White come over and got me, and we partook of a fried bologna and fried egg biscuit. Good, healthy breakfast this morning. And we've got a couple spares that we brought in just in case we get a little hunger pain.
Uh-huh.
And what did you have, a Coke with it or Dr. Pepper?
It was a cherry Coke.
Cherry Coke. He's always got to be, he can't just have a regular Coke.
No.
It's a bit cherry Coke. That's how he rolls. Or a Dr. Pepper. And a Diablo sandwich and make it quick. I'm in a hurry.
Yep. Either one will work.
Oh, Smokey and the Bandit reference.
Yeah.
Yes.
So that's his favorite. And so we got that going on. And I left the Miracle Method message line sitting in its case at home. But you can probably reach out because my bride will hear it and she will text it to me. 865-255-3911. You can also text us this morning. Since I don't have that one with me, you can text us at 865-407-8720. You can do that. Either one of those message lines, the Miracle Method message lines. We're so happy to have them as part of our team as we got to talk with a bunch of folks yesterday. Excited. Regina, good to see you this morning, listening to us on Facebook. Everybody listening to us on the radio station at 105.5 The Mix. We're so pleased to be here back home, and it's a good thing, and chatting with all of y'all and all over Knoxville and, of course, Jefferson County, Hamlin County, Cobb County, Sevier County, you name it. We're out there, aren't we, Skip?
Yes, we are. Our broadcast area is rather large, and we like that.
It is, absolutely. And so we got that going on. I got a lot of things to talk about today. And did you know, as Rush used to say, my formerly nicotine stained fingers, not me, I don't smoke.
Yeah.
But I will dip.
Yeah.
As long as the doctor keeps letting me, that may be out after this week. We're going to talk about something today that is something that our brothers and sisters who've come to us from out west will tell you about. And it's something that we don't think about here, or not many of us think about, but for them, it's old hat.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Can you go to jail for collecting rainwater?
Boy, I hope not. But I bet you can't. Bet you can out west.
You would be correct, sir.
Oh gosh,
we're going to talk about on the program today, along with a whole bunch of other home improvement stuff. In some states, it is illegal to collect rainwater. In some states, you can collect a certain amount, but you can only collect it from the roof and gutters. You cannot collect it in other applications. We're going to go over these things now. If you're like me, you're thinking, the good Lord owns rain. Not in some states.
Wow, that's crazy.
In some states, they believe they own it, and there are laws in place for that. And restrictions. Can you believe that?
That's crazy. I grew up in a house where we collected the rainwater.
Absolutely.
On the downspouts. We had a cistern in the basement.
Absolutely. That's the way it was done back in the day. If you wanted to be clean and wash behind both ears, you had a cistern. You know.
You got in the shower, you got wet, you turned it off, you lathered up, you turned it back on, you rinse off, and you didn't stand in there and go, oh, that water's hot, feels good. You turned it back off.
That's right, because you had a limited supply.
That was it. And we had one summer, we had a drought. And we had to call in a water truck. It was the end of the world.
So we're going to answer the question: a water truck.
A water truck.
Oh yeah.
Because we couldn't get no rain. We had no rain for a long time.
Wow.
There was a drought, and we had to get water from a water truck. And
those are those things we take for granted. You know,
it is.
We have so many luxuries.
Yes.
That we take them for granted, and you know, and that's something we're going to solve the mystery today. Why is water collection a big deal? We're going to talk about that on the program today. We're also going to talk about our friends at Weekend RV Center. They've got a great event coming up. I see, hey, Skylar, good to see you this morning. We appreciate her watching us over in my beautiful little cousin over in North Carolina. She is a horse master of all things with horses. Absolutely. Very, very nice.
Yeah. There you go.
She's a awesome little gal. I say little gal. She's a full grown woman now, but she's still a little gal.
She's always going to be your little gal. That's right.
Absolutely. Haven't got to see her that much, but love her to death. Got a good mom and daddy. My cousin John and his beautiful wife, and so it's good to see her in there this morning, and glad she's doing well and making things happen. I tell you, Daddy, I said he was ugly, but I loved him anyway. Yeah, we all grew up. It's back when, and I've seen this a lot on TV and in ads and stuff. And like on Facebook and stuff that they share all these kinds of things. But when you grow up and your cousins is your family, when you were family, you're like brothers and sisters. That's the way I grew up with all of my cousins.
Wow.
John, her dad John, and her uncle Michael, and myself, and Joe, and Doug, and Tommy, and and all of us,
everybody. Yeah,
we had a crew, and man, what a great way to grow up. So that was fantastic. So we're going to talk about that today. Our friends at Weekend RV Center are coming up with they've got a show coming up at Weekend RV Center. Coming up, and I believe it's next weekend, and they're going to be showing off some of their new products out there. And I believe, and I'll have to verify this, but I believe they're going to have on display one of the nation's first all-electric camper. Now,
interesting.
Typically, your campers are a combination of LP gas, 12-volt power, and then AC power for hooking up to a standard power outlet in the camp. Some people don't like. Boy, I put my foot in my mouth right there. Let me reel that back in, Rick. Before you, that's one of the few times that my brain caught it before my mouth said it. Some people are opposed. That's a better way to say it.
There you go.
To LP gas, and quite frankly, I get that. That's something that we never checked. That's why you ought to be calling the boys at CMG Mechanical Services LLC and let them check that gas stuff every once in a while. The gas is nothing to fool with, whether it's natural gas or LP gas. And as they were telling us when they had the boys on here, 2 shows ago or last show? Two shows ago. The gas has different weights. It operates at different pressures. LP is different than natural. I mean, you've got that. That's we got to keep White's pressure right, because he's natural gas, not LP.
No, my goodness.
Sorry, I let that one slip.
Don't let one slip in here.
I'm gonna roll this morning. Chip Baker, good to see you in there with us this morning. So we're just gonna have some fun today, and we would love to hear from you folks. That's the most important thing that we can do is answer a question that you have. If we don't have the answer, we'll find it. We'll put you to somebody that does have it, 865-932-7449. That's 865-932-7449. That's how you reach us on the program. And so we're going to talk about those things today and some other home improvement things that I see. It's funny when I was thinking, I went to the restroom here at the station, and we've got safety bars in there.
Yes.
For those who have handicap needs, of course. And I was looking at that, and I, when you do something for a living, you see everything.
Yeah.
And I was looking at it and going, well, that was a pretty good way to do that. But I think I've done it this way. Just this, not that my way is better. I'm not saying that. It's just, you think about that. It's like we talked about the other day when you get that new car. Or a new to you car, all of a sudden everybody on the road has that car.
Yep.
Yeah, you don't see it nobody's got this car. This would be great. I'll be right. an enigma or whatever you want to call it.
Exactly. And then you see it. Yep. Well, bam, there you be.
Every corner.
So it's it's part of it. So we're going to talk about that kind of stuff today, but little tips that I've thought about over the years, things that you deal with, and especially this time of year. The rain can be to your advantage. When it comes to your house, because it offers, like the rain that we had yesterday and the night before, where you have that thunderstorm and you have that steady rain. It's a great time just to walk through the house, look for any moisture, especially on ceilings. Let's look around windows and see if we got any sheetrock or anything around our windows, window trim getting wet. It's a good time to just, step outside on the porch and look at those gutters, see if they're leaking. Look at your downspouts, make sure they're flowing. Make sure you have that water 8 to 10 to 12 feet. 12 feet is recommended. Did you know 12 feet is the recommended distance that your gutters should drain away from the foundation of your house? 12 feet.
I did not know that. Thankfully, mine do.
Absolutely. And because, as we've said many times on the program, there's only two things good underwater. One's a fish, the other's a submarine. Your house is neither. And so that's some of the stuff that we think about and that we need to think about that we don't think about when we're talking about that. I've got a drain in my shower that is becoming my nemesis. And that's why I know really good plumbers, because I hate plumbing and it hates me. The only thing it hates me worse than plumbing is wallpaper. And we've talked about
we talked about wallpaper.
That's my nemesis. So, but it's a good time to check those things and to see, because water will go everywhere that wind or draft or other things will go, but you can see it.
Yeah, you sure can.
And so that's why it's a great telltale sign. I mean, now if you're going to check your windows and it ain't raining, but you're wondering you're feeling a draft, you can always hold a candle and go around it, or do and watch the flame and all that kind of stuff. But that's tricky.
That's tricky. Yeah,
that's tricky to do. But water will take the path of least resistance. And it may come in and run down the top of a rafter and cross to another rafter and go down to the bottom and hit a top seal. And it can be very difficult to find.
It can be indeed.
So a good test for the roof and those types of materials that you have is to utilize that rain. Brian, good morning. Good to see you this morning. Brian coming to us from Olympia, actually south of Olympia, Washington State. That is. Newly retired, has sold his security company after 45 years, and now he's laying around living the dream.
Wow.
Kind of like we do every day.
Yeah. Well, here
Lacey, Washington is the word I was looking for, south of Olympia.
That's an early start.
Absolutely. Yeah, he's been working nights for 40 years, so it's kind of hard. I think he's still on. I mean, you can imagine once you got used to that, if you ever do get used to it. I never got used to working nights. I did it 4 years and I hated it, every minute of it. Because I just stayed up all day and never got any sleep, and I was irritable all the time.
Yes, I was. Exactly.
That's right.
Mess up your whole clock.
Messes up everything. So those are some of the things we're going to chat about today. As always, the most important thing that we can talk about is something that you're dealing with in terms of home improvement, or a project you're thinking about, or a question, or a product. There's so much new stuff out there, Skip. I'm having to really do some digging to get up to speed. As I go, we got to take our first time out. When we come back from the timeout, then we're going to jump in, because I had a visit out with my friends out at Knoxville Salvage.
Okay.
And of course, Old City Kitchen, and what a fantastic job they did. I'm going to tell you a little bit about that when we come back. But it made me think of something that, as I'm looking at these new products we're going to talk about, don't go anywhere. Get up, get your coffee going, give us a call. Let me help you work through that project. We don't want do it yourself to become do it to yourself. We don't know everything, but we'll tell you we do. No, if we don't know, we'll tell you we don't know, but we'll find out the answer together. I'm going to tell you more about it coming up. You're listening to Rick's House. We're live right here on Mix 105.5. White, tell them.
We'll be right back.
All right.
No matter how large or small your digging project may be, no matter how urban or rural, you must always call 811 before any digging project. 811 is our national one-call number, alerting your local utility companies to come out and mark any lines they have near your dig site. So before you do this or this, make sure you do this. For digging projects big or small, make the call to 811, brought to you by Common Ground Alliance.
Hey, y'all, this is Rick Allen, and let me tell you about one of my favorite companies, Top Septic. If you need a new drain field, or maybe you're having a problem with your existing drain field, or maybe the septic tank just needs to be pumped, they are the folks that can handle it for you. They know what they're doing. They're an American-owned company run by a veteran who wants to give you the type of service that you're expecting. Top Septic. Call them today, 865-599-1690. 865-599-1690.
What happens when you take 20 years of experience hanging metal on NASCARs and you put that into another business? The business I'm talking about, Miracle Method Resurfacing in Knoxville. My buddy Chris Stacy and his team are there for the detail, there for as good as a job can get. They understand working with tight tolerances and working with a finish that has to be almost perfect. If you're thinking about redoing your countertop, maybe you're thinking about redoing that avocado green bathtub, or maybe you're thinking about that epoxy floor for your hot rod in your garage. Think nowhere else. Miracle Method of Knoxville is the place that can help your dreams come true about that new tile surface or any other finish in your home. Call them today, 865-693-5522. 865-693-5522. Tell them Rick's House sent you.
This is Marty at Carl Hatch Furniture. After 53 years of business, our building has been leased, and Becky and I are retiring. We're entering into the final phase of our retirement sale into our store closing sale. Still, hundreds of thousands of dollars of great furniture must be sold. Furniture for every room of your home, everything discounted up to 70% off. Selection is still good. Come pick out your new living room group, lazy boy recliner, dining set, bedroom group, occasional pieces, or a new mattress set with an adjustable base. Plus, any wall art, lamps, and accessories are discounted up to 70% off. Bring your truck, van, or trailer so you can start enjoying your new furniture as soon as possible. And take advantage of our 12 months, no interest financing. At Carl Hatcher Furniture, your downtown furniture destination in Sevierville.
The all-new Mix 105.5 is looking for 2 great people to join our sales staff. If you are energetic and highly motivated to achieve all the goals you have, we want to talk to you today. Don't let your previous jobs hold you back from finding out how rewarding a position at Mix 105.5 can be. Base plus commission gets you started. Go to mix1055.com, look for the Work With Us button. Again, that's mix1055.com and work with us. East Tennessee Radio Group at Mix 105.5 or Equal Opportunity Employer. Start your new career today, mix1055.com. Work with us. Do it now.
Hey, y'all, this is Rick Allen, host of Rick's House Home Improvement Radio Show on the road. Let me tell you about my friends at Knoxville Salvage and Old City Kitchens. Joel Popper and the team there have been friends of this program for a long time, and they want to be your friend. Friends, they have got the best cabinets, the best products. You say, Rick, is it seconds? No, everything's first quality. They do have some seconds if you want to get a deal, but not on kitchens and not on about everything they have in the store. So trust me, they're part of our team. They want to be part of your team. And in this environment where building materials are going through the roof, they're going to have the best prices on the best products in Knoxville or anywhere in the surrounding area. Call them today. See them online. KnoxvilleSalvage.com, OldCityKitchens.com. A Rick's House favorite. Don't wake up in the cold. Let CMG inspect and service your unit for extreme weather before there's a problem. Free estimates and second opinions. CMG Mechanical Services, LLC, 865-770-1561. 865-770-1561. Gas furnaces and heat pumps, new installations, gas lines, and gas log installations as well. CMG Mechanical Services, 865-770-1561.
Waking up between you and Mama every Saturday morning. Lord, it must be a big old bed. You're listening to Rick's House.
Saturday morning to you. Welcome back to Rick's House Live, 105.5 The Mix. Glad to see you this morning, whether you're listening to us on the radio or on the Mix's stream, the live stream. Download the app, and you can listen to us worldwide, as well as go into Rick's House Radio Show, RHRS, on the road on Facebook, or the Rick Allen page on Facebook. We'd love to hear from you this morning. Music brought to you during our program by Epidemic Sound. And it's all non-copyrighted music that we pay for. And man, there's some good stuff. These musicians are just fabulous. Amazing. We utilize them for our commercials too, as well. And I told Skip, I said, now when you get on there to help us put stuff together for the program, allow yourself 4 to 8 hours minimum.
Now I got to find 4 to 8 hours to do that.
Yeah, like you've got that in your schedule.
Yeah.
Because, man, I'm telling you, I just get on there and they have every genre. It's if you want funk or blues or whatever. And I wanted to make mention as we go back before we jump back into what we were talking about before the timeout. The Rick's House theme that you hear when we first come back from the timeout, on each timeout that we have for our commercial sponsors, that is a group of guys that 2 of them have went on to heaven. The drummer is Nicky Bernetti, who was the drummer for Bo Donaldson and the Haywoods.
Oh, wow.
Billy, don't be a hero.
Yep.
And also was a Herman's Hermit.
Oh, yeah.
For a time. Where the Action Is 76 on the Dick Clark Show. Played in the band Star Shower was the house band for Ringo Starr's club in Atlanta.
My.
and a dear, dear friend of mine who I met many, many years ago, and we lost him about, it's been 6 months, almost a year. Sometimes between 6 months and a year, I can't keep up. Yeah, it's fine to do that, Brian, when you get a chance. So when I was listening to him play the drums, many of his fans over the years, and he was so humble. He played with everybody, Stevie Wonder, Kiss. He knew everybody in the business.
Wow.
And, but you would never know it because he wouldn't tell you.
Mm-hmm.
He learned to play the drums. He grew up in Washington, D.C., and he learned to play the drums, and he wanted to play the drums, and his dad was a barber. Is that right? Barber. Yeah. Okay. I'll say that right in a minute. And he's Italian, not Italian, but Italian, and could cook. Oh my gracious. But his dad said, there's no way that I am buying you a set of drums to put in our house and listen to that all day long. You're going to go to barber school and you're going to become a barber and you're going to take over the family business. Well, that went in this year and right back out that other year. And so what he did is he kept thinking about it. And so he went to Baskin Robbins and asked the manager what he did with the big buckets of ice cream. When they got done with them.
Yeah.
Said, well, throw them away. He said, can I have some? He's like, yeah, I'll save you some. So he figured out that he could take those buckets and by filling them different levels and putting different things in them, he could get different sounds.
Absolutely.
And ended up getting him a set of drumsticks, and he taught himself to play the drums on Baskin Robbins ice cream tubs.
That's awesome.
True story.
That is awesome.
True story.
Wow.
And so when he was out in California, and Bo Donaldson and the Haywoods, he was their drummer, had auditions. And so, and this has nothing to do with home improvement. No. The way we met was he was selling windows and doors for a large Georgia Flush in Atlanta. And I was working, I had a window and door store in Panama City Beach, and that's how I met him.
Wow.
And we found out that we both had a mutual love for music. He could play and I could a little bit, but not like that. But anyway, and
we'll get you some Baskin Robbins buckets. Maybe you'll turn the corner, bro.
Oh, I ain't got the rhythm, brother. I'm telling you. But I played the saxophone and some things like that. But anyway, long story short, and so we just became great friends and stayed friends for all these years. But what was interesting about that is and this is a true story. And you got to understand, this is the 70s. We don't recommend this. Tongue-tied. They won't have to finish up my coffee this morning. So he went to an audition, and he stopped and took some adult beverages to the audition for the band. And so they interviewed 142 drummers for the band.
That's a lot.
All right. The drummer they selected was number one, and he was the second drummer. So they selected the drummer. At the first practice, that drummer took an illegal substance and passed out and fell off the stage. So they didn't have a drummer.
Wow.
So the band said, we got to find Nicky Bernetti because we should have picked him to start with. But they had no way to get a hold of him, had no way to find him, no nothing.
No, this is the 70s.
This is the 70s. Ain't no cell phones. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
So the way they found him is it was a very specific type of beer that he had brought to the practice. So they started calling stores and said, do you sell this particular brand of beverage? And they finally found a store where they all lived in this part of LA, around outside of LA. And the guy said, yeah. He said he's in here about 2 or 3 times a week. And they described him, and they said, well, give him a message for us. Call us.
Yeah.
And that's how he became the drummer. They found him, and he went to, and he had not sat in with them, had not played with them except for practice. And the day that they called him, they had a gig that night.
Wow, that's awesome.
And
golly,
I have been to his house and saw his platinum record on the wall.
Goodness.
So every time that plays, I just wanted to give homage to my brother.
There you go.
Who was amazing, an amazing talent. And just to give you another little brief part of that before we move on back into home improvement, I've had him on my heart this morning. The guy that does the organ in that, his name is Keith, and he still does commercials and stuff for us and all kinds of stuff. And he was in Star Shower. The guy that played the bass on that is passed, and the guitar guy is still around. But anyway, what's so funny is that he was at our house one day, and after we had become friends with Robin, his wife, and his daughter's name is Carrie. Well, he named his daughter after Dick Clark's daughter, Carrie. And so I said, Brew, why don't you? That's what we called him, Brew, because his name was Ricky and his stage name was Nicky. So I said, why don't you reach out to some of these folks that you did with and do some studio work? You're a fabulous drummer. I know they'd love to hear from you. He said, well, I said, didn't you name your daughter after Dick Clark's daughter? And he said, yeah. And I said, okay. So it was a Saturday morning. We had some business to do. I got up, waited till it was Pacific time, picked up the phone, called Dick Broadcasting, and the guy answered the phone. And I said, look, hey, this is my name. I do Rick's House Radio Show here in Tennessee. My dear friend, Nicky Bernetti, is trying to get a hold of Mr. Clark, and told him the story. He said, hang on a minute. So he said, I'm going to give your number to Mr. Clark's assistant, Amy, which is my wife's name, Amy. In 15 minutes, my phone rang. And this lady on the other end of the line said, this is Amy so-and-so, Mr. Clark's personal assistant. Is Nicky there? I said, absolutely. And so I handed the phone to Rick or Nicky, and he said, yeah. And he told her, she said, hang on a minute. So he's got this on speakerphone. We're sitting in my living room. And this lady comes on the phone and she goes, Nicky Bernetti, where have you been? Dick will be absolutely ecstatic. How's your daughter and how's Robin? It was Dick Clark's wife.
Oh, my goodness.
Yeah.
Oh, my goodness.
And so they had a conversation, and this was before Mr. Clark passed, and they ended up reconnecting and so forth and so on. But, he just, the humility of, he didn't want to bother him. And they was like, she said, you always have a smile. And she said, I always remember it. Oh my gosh, we want to see you, So I thought that was a pretty amazing story. So that's where they did that theme for me, similar to something that I had in mind. And so when you hear that, my brothers went on to a greater place, but I just want to share that with y'all this morning. And that's why we do that.
That's why we do that.
So pretty cool stuff.
That's good stuff.
He's got great stories. He had great stories too.
I guarantee it.
Yeah.
I guarantee it.
Dick Clark was he loved animals, and he raised a specific type of dog. I don't remember what it was, but he had a complete kennel at his house and all that stuff. He would tell me all that stuff, which was really, really interesting. So it just goes to show you that an old boy who just thought to take something to drink to a band practice ended up with a platinum record.
Yeah. Yeah.
Because somebody else did something foolish and fell off the stage.
Right place at the right time. My goodness.
Exactly. So good stuff on the program.
Indeed.
If you've got a question for us, we'd love to hear from you this morning, 865-932-7449. It don't matter what it is. We talk about motorhomes and RVs here. We talk about home improvement projects. We talk about what you need to be doing at your rental house, the things you need to check. We talk about new products. Had a great opportunity this week to visit with our friends at Knox Rail Salvage. Knoxville Salvage has been a sponsor of this program for over 20 years.
Oh, yeah.
And Joel and his team there, and Miss Nancy and the whole gang. And it's just amazing to me because, you think Knoxville Salvage, oh, well, they just got a bunch of leftover stuff. No, they have some of that stuff that you can get a great deal on. And they have some seconds that, great B stuff if you want that. But I would say that 99% of everything in that store is new. And with windows, doors, wallpaper. If you love wallpaper, man, they got wallpaper.
They sure do.
They do, brother. I'm telling you.
Wall-to-wall
wallpaper. I mean, they got that going on. I have nightmares when I go in there. And so, it just, if you haven't been to see them, go see them. And then Old City Kitchens, man, what they're doing with kitchens is phenomenal. Great quality, no prefab stuff, no particle board, all wood cabinetry. Just doing a phenomenal job. We're going to do a live remote for them coming up probably in another month or so.
Okay.
We'll be live 2 locations. They have the location there in downtown Knoxville, as well as the location in Fountain City over on Greenway Drive, which is, they have a location there, and that's where we most likely where we will be. And then also they got a great furniture selection. You're going to have to get a new recliner. Old Betsy's about done. That's what I call my recliner. She's seen better. She's seen better days, hadn't she, White?
Yep.
And so you need a big boy recliner. They got them. Wall hugger. I need a wall hugger. Wall hugger. So they can not take up the whole living room floor.
No.
So yeah, go by and see them today. But I just wanted to share that with you, and and we share things like that as we go along. But knew everything about millwork and doors and stuff like that. And it goes to tell you, you think about when he was working the company he worked for, they ran 740 doors a day. Just in interior doors.
That's a lot of doors.
740 interior doors a day because they furnish millwork stores all across the country. Well, you think about this. Those machines have to be checked every so many doors.
Oh, sure.
Because as a machine is working, just like your body is working, it will gradually get out of whack just a little bit. So all of a sudden it's a 30-second off, and then you run a couple more doors and it's a 16th off. And then the next thing you know, you're a 1/4 inch off, and you got doors that are, as my papa would say, are cattywampus.
Cattywampus, that's right.
It's a technical term.
That is a technical term. Yes.
And so, you have to stop and recalibrate everything to make sure that you're not doing that. Your house is the same way. If you're not maintaining, as we talk about with CMG Mechanical Services LLC, if you're not checking that filter, your house may require the filter to be changed every 2 weeks or every 3 weeks, or it may be every 6 weeks, depending on how old your house is, the amount of dust that you have and particles in there, particulates. If that filter is not breathing freely because it's clogged, that machine is having to run non-efficiently, and that's costing you money.
Yep.
And I guess one of the biggest things people ask me is, what can I do to my house? Check those things that need to be maintained. My wife tells me, did you check the filter in the washer? I said, what filter? And she showed me. She said, this filter and that filter have to be checked. I mean, how often do you do that? Do you check the filter in your washer? No. Because you don't even think about it.
No.
Now you check the filter in the dryer
all the time.
Time, because if you don't, then it stops. You wake up on fire and it stops.
That too, yeah.
All those kinds of things. But you don't check do you check the dishwasher filter?
Yes, that one I do.
Okay.
Yes.
Do. That's good.
I do. Yes, you check that food filter or that whatever it's called in there, and get that gunk out of there.
My wife said to me the other day, we were at a Chinese restaurant we were going to, and she said, do you know what a poo-poo platter is? I said, I'm not so sure. I know what that is.
Alfred Papunu platter, yes.
Bada bing. So, but all jokes aside, having a little fun this morning on the program, those are things that you have to check. And they're very simple things, but they're really important.
Yes, absolutely.
When you think about that.
Efficiency is what you're looking for.
Efficiency. I think it's a really good idea to work with service plans for, like CMG has a service plan where they come out and they check your heat and air once a month, or they check it twice a year, not once a month, but once a year or twice a year. Check it in the spring for air. Check it in the fall when you're going into wintertime.
Mm-hmm.
You know, it's kind of like when I lived at the coast and we lived on the beach across the street from the beach. You know, when the hurricane is bearing down in the Gulf of Mexico, not the time to worry about not the time to be worried about hurricane protection. You should have done that when the hurricane was nowhere to be.
That's it. You're a little late.
You're not going to find any plywood there. That ain't going to happen, Captain. And so those types of things. So that maintenance is a really important part of what we do. And you know, we can help you with some of that. The same holds true with your RV or your travel trailer. Having traveled all over the country, we've lived in all but 6 states, working, camping, and doing that. Try to learn as much about it as I could before we left.
Mm-hmm.
Learned a whole lot about it on the road.
I guarantee you.
When you're in the middle of nowhere and something ain't working, it's -8 in Oregon. You better have learned a little something or know what to do.
Mm-hmm.
So, you know, it's those kinds of things that help you to save money. That little bit of money spent is money spent well. And those are things that we think about. So we can help you with that. We can help you make a list. We can talk about that on the program. Again, the call-in number is 865-932-7449. That's how you reach us. I did not bring the Miracle Method message line with me this morning. I left it with my bride. So if you call it, I'm sure she'll send me the text, 865-255-3911, or you can text us on an alternate number this morning at 865-407-8720 is also the Miracle Method line, 865-407-8720 with your questions. If you don't have time to talk or don't want to talk on the radio, that's okay. Skip will take your question and refer it to me.
If you're shy, that's fine. I'll just write it down and pass it on.
Absolutely. Mm-hmm. All the way across the magic desk here. We are just like the magic bus, magic school bus, so to speak.
Yeah.
I'm reminiscing from my childhood this morning.
You are having flashbacks today, bro. What did you have for dinner last night?
Pizza.
Yep, same for me.
That's what we had. Pizza. We had some pizza last night, didn't we?
Yep. That'll do it.
Like I said, my nephew's with me. For those of you just joining us this morning, Wyatt, and you got to spend some time in Gatlinburg this past week. Tell us what you were doing.
I went out to Gatlinburg and did the skiing for the Winter Games this year.
For the Winter Games for Special Olympics. And done really good. You did skiing. Your brother did.
My brother did snowboarding.
And he was complaining to me when he was over the other day. He's like, man, my legs are sore. I'm like, yeah, that's what that snowboarding will do for you.
It will.
And you guys did that. And y'all also, we had several of your buddies that were doing basketball.
Yeah.
And what other sports do you do?
There was some that were ice skating as well.
Wow. What's your favorite?
Either one.
It don't matter. You just play them all, don't you, son?
Yeah. Yep.
He plays them all. Basketballs, weightlifting. It don't matter what it is.
Anything, yeah.
That's awesome.
He gets that done. I guess we ought to take that next time out.
Sure, why not?
Skip, let's go ahead and get that one done. If you want to reach us, we'd love to hear from you this morning, 865-932-7449 as we continue the conversation. And we are, I promise, going to tell you about why it's illegal in some states to collect that rainwater. Can you believe it? It's craziness. Yeah. We're going to tell you about that. You're listening to Rick's House. And where does that happen? It happens on 105.5 The Mix every Saturday morning. Wyatt, tell them.
We'll be right back, folks.
WSEV-FM, Gatlinburg, Sevierville, Pigeon Forge, Tennessee's new mix, 105.5.
Hey, y'all, being from the country, I've learned one thing for sure. The difference in experience can make the difference between a good job and a bad one. That's why we choose August Excavation for all your excavation needs. Whether it's pouring a footing, laying out a footing, pouring a concrete driveway, excavating a basement, or whatever your excavation needs may be. August Excavating. Call them today, 423-736-1402. 423-736-1402. Hey, y'all, this is Rick Allen, host of Rick's House Home Improvement Radio Show. Let me tell you, I know a little something about mobility issues. I know a little something about taking care of mom and dad and grandparents and things you do when you're supposed to. That's why I trust Chris and his team at Miracle Method. They've got a safety package. A safety package that converts that tub in your house. But the main thing is it's going to give them an easy step in. It's going to give them grab bars that are added right. It's going to give them the flexibility to have that independence and you the knowledge of knowing that you've taken care of mom and dad. Miracle Method. Find them online today. Miracle Method. 865-693-5522. For safety is a priority.
This is Marty at Crawlatch Furniture. After 53 years of business, our building has been leased and Becky and I are retiring. We're entering into the final phase of our retirement sale into our store closing sale. Still, hundreds of thousands of dollars of great furniture must be sold. Furniture for every room of your home. Everything discounted up to 70% off. Selection is still good. Come pick out your new living room group, lazy boy recliner, dining set, bedroom group, occasional pieces, or a new mattress set with an adjustable base. Plus, any wall art, lamps, and accessories are discounted up to 70% off. Bring your truck, van, or trailer so you can start enjoying your new furniture as soon as possible. And take advantage of our 12 months, no interest financing. At Carl Hatcher Furniture, your downtown furniture destination in Sevierville.
Highway 66 Self-Storage has expanded with an all-new climate-controlled storage. The area's premier storage facility is now open and ready to serve you. Their new facility offers 2 stories of climate-controlled storage units ranging from 25 to 200 square feet with 24-hour access, video surveillance, and 3 convenient covered loading areas with a loading dock for large items. Receive a free month when you sign up for 6 months. Call 865-366-1730 or check the website for more details. Highway 66 Climate-Controlled Storage, your storage solution, conveniently located next to Home Depot in Sevierville.
The all-new Mix 105.5 is looking for 2 great people to join our sales staff. If you are energetic and highly motivated to achieve all the goals you have, we want to talk to you today. Don't let your previous jobs hold you back from finding out how rewarding a position at Mix 105.5 can be. Base plus commission gets you started. Go to Mix1055.com, look for the Work With Us button. Again, that's Mix1055.com and work with us. East Tennessee Radio Group at Mix 105.5 or Equal Opportunity Employer. Start your new career today, Mix1055.com. Work with us. Do it now. It's only 14 days to Valentine's Day. Ignite the flames of passion with a gift from Sexy Stuff. Whether you're feeling mild or wild, we have something special for your Valentine. Highway 66, Sexy Stuff. We've got the stuff.
Thinking real estate? 2025 is my 31st year in real estate. Call me, Terry Williams, RE/MAX Preferred Properties, 865-556-4111 or 392-5885.
Hey, y'all, this is Rick Allen, host of Rick's House Home Improvement Radio Show. Let me tell you about my friends Tyler and Xavier and the team over at Weekend RV Center. Whether you're looking for sales or service or parts or storage, they're the team that can make that happen for you. I trust them. They've been there with me when we were on the road all over the United States, and they'll be there for you. They can work on your RV. They can take your RV in on a trade. They can sell you a new RV, but most of all, they're going to treat you like family. You're not dealing with some big corporation. You're dealing with local folk who want to do a great job and take care of you. Weekend RV Center, 865-457-4424, 865-457-4424, or find them online at weekendrvcenter.com. PreferredModularHomes.com. Whether you want to change some decor items or come in with a floor plan sketched out on a napkin, we're confident we can help you create the home of your dreams. PreferredModularHomes.com. 865-512-9251. 865-512-9251. 7140 Clinton Highway. Come see us today. Talk to Ben. Talk to Scott. Get that modular built for a lifetime. PreferredModularHomes.com. Good Saturday morning to you. Welcome into Rick's house. Thanks for joining us on the program. 105.5 The Mix. We're back home. Good to be here. Always excited. Brother Skip bringing the tunes to you from Epidemic Sound and providing those commercial timeouts that allow you to hear from some of those folks that let us do what we do. God bless them. Without them, we could not. And so we are very happy to have them with us this morning. Did you know? Good morning, Diane. Good to see you this morning. Did you know that it is illegal to collect rainwater in some states? Let me go to the hermetically sealed envelope.
Been on the Funkin' Wagnall's porch since noon today.
In a mayonnaise jar.
In a mayonnaise jar, that's right. Oh, gosh. Flashbacks. It's Flashback Saturday here, sports fans. Yes, it is.
Yes, I did a little country radio back in the day.
Yep.
Yep. And the answer is illegal.
Legal.
Yep.
Not in this state.
According to the National Conference of State Legislatures, catching rainwater or rainwater harvesting can affect quality standards, public safety, and water rights. That's right. Water rights are actually a thing. Water rights are a type of interest that can be tacked onto real estate ownership when a property is close to a body of water. This means the landowner has the right to use that body of water and any precipitation surrounding it. Some states mandate that all precipitation belongs to the existing water rights owners, and rain flow needs to join its rightful water drainage. A journal published by the University of North Carolina entitled Rainwater Collection, Water Law, and Climate Change, A Flood of Problems Waiting to Happen. Boy, that's a dandy little deal.
Yeah.
Dives much deeper into water rights. It states that any type of rainwater collectors, whether from gutters on your roof or any other rainwater drain control, infringes on the water rights lawfully belonging to someone downstream. This may not seem like a big deal, but for areas experiencing droughts or any other water warranties, legislation such as this can be necessary. Can you go to jail for collecting water? Rainwater. Obviously, your gutter isn't doing much harm, but for some, collecting rainwater has even landed them in the slammer.
My.
Back in 2012, one man in Oregon collected 13 million gallons of water and created 3 reservoirs on his property from rainwater harvesting. That's right, he made 3 separate bodies of water from the water he collected. While most states permit rainwater harvesting and some even encourage it, other states have specific rules and regulations around the topic. These states specify that the uses of water, for example, if the water can be collected for non-potable purposes, it means that water is not suitable for drinking but can be used for other things. Potable water means it's safe for drinking, cooking, and bathing. Here are a few of the rules. Alaska. Open that one up. I love Johnny Carson. Rainwater harvesting is encouraged in Alaska and considered a primary source of water. But for groundwater harvesting, regulations are stricter. According to the Alaska Department of Natural Resources, if you reside near a specific body of water, you need water rights to use that water. If you weren't given a water rights transfer from the previous owner, never even heard of such a thing, you need to apply for water rights accompanied by an appropriate fee. Yes, there we have it, folks. There is a fee required to Big Brother.
Always a fee to Big Brother. A nominal fee, maybe, or a fee.
Correct. Arkansas.
Arkansas.
They don't collect no water out there. No, nothing. It goes through copper.
Right now, somebody from Arkansas is listening going, what's he talking about?
What's he talking about? Hush. You been up on my place? Better allowed to get shut up there.
That's it. Don't you step on my property.
Yeah, fly a drone over that and see what happens.
Yes.
There's a loud sound and the little drone goes to the ground.
That's it.
It's fine to collect rainwater in Arkansas under specific conditions. You can collect the water for non-potable purposes as long as the system used is designed by a professional licensed engineer with appropriate cross-connection safeguards as follows the Arkansas Plumbing Code. Yeah, I need you to come out there below the house. I'll meet you down there at the driveway. We're going to blindfold you before we get you up there. We just want to make sure we ain't got no contaminants going in that there.
Oh, my goodness.
Oh, you've been waiting on this one.
Uh-oh.
I couldn't resist this morning because I just couldn't resist it. California.
Oh, yes.
Now, I'm going to tell you what. I lived in California for a while. And if you get away from the big cities, it's just ranches and it's
beautiful.
It's gorgeous, and the people are they're ranchers.
Yeah,
they're growing beans or organic foods or whatever it is they're doing, and it's kind of like around here. There's tractors going down the road, and are they raising honeybees or African honeybees? So that's a whole different story.
A whole different story. Yeah,
my wife got stung by them. Boy, that was a mess. Rainwater harvesting coming from your roof is fine in California. No permit from the state board is necessary. However, collecting rainwater for landscaping purposes would require a license. If a rain capture system is being used to create a water supply, swimming pool, hot tub, fountains, ponds, a landscaper must be authorized to enter a prime contract for that system. Colorado. Residential homeowners can catch up to 2 rain barrels of water, approximately 110 gallons. However, the water should only be used for outdoor non-potable purposes on the property where it's collected, such as lawn and irrigation and gardening. For a while, Colorado had strict harvesting regulations due to the senior water rights. But after a study determined that only 3% of rain reached a stream or groundwater, Colorado decided to revise its legislation. Illinois has got 2 examples, 2 bills that deals with solar energy rights. Oh, have we heard of that one?
Are you kidding?
No, sir.
Oh, my gracious. Come on.
The state of Illinois, rainwater harvesting is legal. 2 specific statutes apply, and we're not lawyers. You would listen to Law Talk for that. They'll tell you about all these things. We offer no type of legal advice of any kind.
No legal advice here.
None here.
No, that comes in about an hour and a half.
An hour and a half, you can call them back, and they'll tell you all about that. You guys are welcome. They crazy fools on their
Why are we
getting the book out?
Why are we getting calls about water rights and solar? What are we getting on these calls?
I
love it.
Let's see. But it also requires homeowners associations to specify if rain collection is allowed, and if so, to spell out the location, design, and architectural requirements for those systems. Illinois also has the Green Infrastructure for Clean Water Act. This act works through water conservation, efficiency, infrastructure, and management while promoting rainwater harvesting. Did you know that there are rights? It's my understanding, and I am not a legal professional, and nor do I give legal advice, but it is my understanding that the airspace above your property, there's rights to that. It's my understanding. This would be a great question for the guys and gals at Law Talk.
Oh, my goodness.
Louisiana.
Down there at the bayou. That's it.
Don't worry. Rainwater harvesting is legal. Just be careful that the rain barrel, also known as a cistern, has a suitable cover. Mm-hmm. Louisiana forbids selling polluted water, which also includes ice.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I don't care what you do down there.
There's all kinds of.
You can go back in the swamp and find it. Good luck.
Good luck to you. That's it. That's it. My goodness.
Nevada. It used to be illegal to collect rainwater in Nevada, but a 2017 bill permits rain collection for non-potable domestic use. It also allows remote guzzlers for wildlife that hold up to 20,000 gallons with a capture area of no more than an acre. The piping system can't be longer than 1/4 mile. Now, who comes up with that?
Oh my goodness. Somebody's got some downtime.
Yeah. North Carolina. Rainwater harvesting is legal in North Carolina with a few regulations. The Department of Environmental and Natural Resources must provide statewide outreach and technical assistance regarding water efficiency. This also includes developing best management practices for water reuse, harvesting, and gray water. See, gray water is a whole different ballgame.
Mm-hmm.
There's a group in California called the Gray Water Gorillas. And their purpose is to, when I think about that, why do we, what, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, that's what the spam calls get when they call my phone.
I'm so glad you called. There's blood everywhere.
Oh, we're off the wall. The state law 243 authorized changes in the plumbing code facilitating the use of cistern water in residential commercial. Okay.
Yeah.
Is there people that check this? That's what I want to know. I mean, is there people out there that do it?
Gosh, I mean, back in my day as a child, I mean, we collected the rainwater. We had a cistern in the basement. We had a filtration system on it, so we could use the water. We didn't drink the water, but we showered with it. We cooked with it. We boiled it, whatever. But I mean, that was back in the day too. We didn't have no septic tank. No, we got a cesspool out back. I mean, that's just how it was.
That's exactly.
Yeah. I mean, you lived off the land. You lived off nature. You lived off what the good Lord above provided you with. You didn't have the money to go and do all that kind of stuff.
It's legal to collect rainwater in Oregon, but you must have a water rights permit if you plan on using public water unless the general public has the same access. Now, Brian, who calls in from time to time, has been listening to us for a long time. He had an issue with his city group about his well for his irrigation and what they wanted him to do because of the fear of that water getting into the local water system, and it was a mess. They get ooh. Now, when we were out on the ranch, on the 250,000 acre ranch out in Oregon, at that time in that part of the state, the state says that you don't own that water, we own it. We'll tell you what you're going to do with it and what you're not going to do with it. So yes, that I mean, Utah has. Sorry, Utah, but rainwater harvesting has some strict rules. Rainwater harvesting is only allowed on land owned or leased by the person responsible for the collection. Senate Bill 32 states that the person must be registered with the Division of Water Resources if they plan to collect up to 2,500 gallons of rainwater. Registration isn't required if you use only one container that holds no more than 100 gallons. Washington State, where my friend Brian is.
Yeah.
Washington no longer requires a permit to collect water from rooftops, but it still has some very strict regulations. Some areas of Washington are stricter than others, so it's best to check with the specific county. For now, you don't need a rainwater collection permit if the rainwater is used on the property and is collected from existing structures that have purposes other than collecting rainwater. Make sure that the rainwater collection isn't restricted due to local regulations. That's what my friend got into.
Yeah.
Also, if the water is being collected is used primarily for drinking in a new building, check with your county to see if that's allowed. All this comes from Kirsten Hickman, who's a journalist and content strategist with a main focus on nutrition, health, and wellness coverage. She holds an MA in journalism from DePaul University and a nutritional science certificate from Stanford Medicine. Her work has been featured in publications including Taste of Home, Reader's Digest, Bustle, Bustle Feed, Insider, MSN, so forth, so on. Read more. No.
My question is if you're collecting rainwater, who's going around and checking to see if you're collecting rainwater to find out if you're breaking the law or not?
It's a great question. And if there is somebody that does that, they shouldn't be.
No.
That's just my opinion for what it's worth. We have some of those kinds of things that are goofy. I've always had an issue with gray water.
Yeah.
Okay, you have a and with our friends at Top Septic, what a great job that they do. Had a chance to talk with Josh and Heidi this past week, and if you need your septic tank drained, and or you need a new septic tank installed or a drain filled, and or you need a foundation put in, or anything regarding those matters, Top Septic's the people, and their sister company, August Excavation.
Yeah.
Josh is a veteran of the U.S. Army, proudly served his country. It's a veteran-owned business. Awesome folks. See them, let them know we sent you. Give them a call, 865-599-1690, and they'll help you. But one of the things that I've always had an issue with and or concern about, and I'm not a tree-hugging, kind of person.
Yeah.
Okay. Mm-hmm. Sometimes I think we implement things that, boy, it's getting ready to hit the sweat's going to hit the socks. There's going to be some preaching, as my buddy says. All jokes aside, you have a contained septic system, and that septic system, the water comes from your house, gray water and black water. Black water being your toilets, those kinds of things. Gray water being your bath water, your sink water, those kinds of things. So you have this system where your black water runs into a septic tank. The solids that come through the black water stay in the septic tank, and then the liquid comes up and goes over a dam, so to speak, and exits out into the leach field, the drain field, in order to go back into the ground. Well, the septic tank works because it has bacteria in it. That bacteria dissolves, lives off of the solids, and breaks those down so that they become liquid, and the solids stay in the tank and the liquid, and that's a constant circle. But your gray water is full of Dawn dishwashing liquid and Palmolive and Tide and Purex and whatever other kind of stuff you use. No particular name brand we're recommending here. So you're putting stuff in your black water septic tank that kills the bacteria that breaks down the solids. That makes no sense to me whatsoever.
No.
I don't know if there'll ever be a change about that. There's a whole group of people that believe you should be reusing your gray water. There's actually, locally, we have a lot of places here. Not a lot of, but we have some places here that are totally sustainable living that provide off-the-grid living communities and education and so forth. And I'll think of the name of it in just a minute. My father-in-law furnished a lot of material for those. They do straw bale building, which is, if you've ever seen that, they build a pole barn with a standard roof on it, and then they stack. It has it up off the ground. They use, I can't remember, they pour concrete. I can't remember what they use for the bottom, but then they stack straw bales. 12, straw bales 2 foot wide and 12 inches tall or so, however big a straw bale is. I can't remember anymore. Boy, I threw a lot of them. They felt like they was as big as a house after a full day in the hayfield. But they stack those, and then they put wire over top of them, and then they screed them with a slurry, a concrete type slurry, and then they put whatever they're going to put on the outside and in them. They're super efficient. And then on the inside of that, once they slurry them, then they typically use tongue and groove interior wood. And they have composting toilets. They have running water. They have solar. They have all those kinds of things. It's much like the earth ships that we talked about last week out in Taos, New Mexico. Very, very efficient. And Narrow Ridge is in Washburn. And there's a whole development there, and they have an educational facility, and people come from all over the world to stay up there in those cabins and to learn sustainability and how they garden and how they utilize gray water and how they utilize black water and all those kinds of things. Now, there's something about that is a little bit unique to me in terms of what they do, but there's some good principles there. And I don't know that as we continue to grow with this massive growth that we have in all the counties around us, with the people who have found out about the beautiful part of the world that we live in,
God's country,
absolutely, that we'll see changes in that. And there has to be. I don't have a problem with regulation as long as it's not ridiculous.
Yeah, exactly.
Because if you don't, you're going to end up with some things that can hurt the environment. You can. But I'm all about respecting the environment.
Oh, absolutely.
But I'm also not about being stupid about it either. Did I say that out loud?
You did say that out loud.
It came out.
It did come out. It came out of your mouth. Well, that's like what we do, that once a month thing where you pour that stuff in your toilet and you flush it down and it gets the bacteria back in your septic tank and stuff. We do that.
That's a great thing. If you don't maintain your septic system, depending on how much you wash and how much of those chemicals that go in there, you have got to combat that if you're going to have a successful system. And you do need to periodically have that that septic tank drained. And that's what our friends at Top Septic do. And they know their business, and they know, I told you about getting a can stuck in the black tank on our travel trailer, and they knew exactly what to do and realized that they had to turn the pressure down because they're not cleaning out a concrete tank. They're cleaning out a plastic tub.
Yeah.
Which would have, if they would have used the standard pressure that they used to clean out a concrete septic tank, it would have collapsed the tub. That's just knowing what you're doing.
Yeah, exactly. You need those people that know what they're doing.
Now, everybody asks me, Rick, what do you put in your septic tank? And I've heard everything under the sun. There is a product. There used to be a product called Miracle that you could buy. Your local plumbers could provide it for you. And I don't know if it's still available. I'll have to look at it. But you put that stuff in there once a year, and it creates and fights and creates that bacteria to grow substantially. Something else that's really good, if you've got white bread.
Yeah.
Man, the yeast in that white bread, any type of bread like that. I had a person who told me that the cleanest septic tank that they had ever seen. This was before I met our friends at Miracle Method. This is many the Miracle Method. Top Septic. Miracle Method's awesome too. But and we'll talk about them today. But Top Septic, I asked myself, what do you put in your? This was not Top Septic. This was another company, and back in the day, it's been 30 years ago.
Yeah.
He said the cleanest septic tank I've ever seen looked like brand new when we went to drain it. And he said, I asked him what they did. He said they put one loaf of white bread, flushed it a month. And the yeast in that bread fed the bacteria in that septic tank and promoted a healthy tank.
That's wild. Oh my goodness. That's a cheap alternative.
Yeah. Go to that store where they sell you that day old stuff and flush you a loaf of that.
Well, forget feeding the birds on the left and they'll throw it down the toilet.
If they want, they'll have to go diving. Put your scuba gear on. So I've heard that. And anything that promotes bacteria, I've heard everything. Buttermilk.
Yeah.
Them old biscuits that you didn't eat, I mean, anything that's got that yeast in it, it's going to promote that and make that septic system healthy.
Wow.
I saw something this past week, and I see this all the time, and it's just something that I noticed. We pulled up to a house to pick something up, and I looked over, and there was a 4-inch drain out, when you come out of your house before you enter into the sewer system. And this was in the city. So this is not going into a drain field, but this is going into a sewer. But if it goes into a drain field, a septic tank, the drain field's the same way. Right outside your house, you'll have a 4-inch drain out, a clean out. So that you can, in the event that there's a clog in the line, you can take that cap off and run a snake down through there, or a camera or whatever, to see what's clogging that line up. Within, let's say, it was not that close. Within a foot of that 4-inch drain, they had planted a maple tree. And I'm sitting here thinking that maple tree's about 10 foot tall. And you know what's going to happen.
Roots are going to go
Those
right
roots are
into
going to
it.
go right over to that Schedule 40. And friends, I got news for you. Guess what? They will bust that plastic.
They sure will.
That water.
They sure will.
So I built a house many years ago, and I built this same house 2 or 3 different times because I really liked it. It's a chalet type house, like we have up here. And I went by there after I'd sold the house, and the new owners were from up north, and they had put a tree right in the middle of the drain field. And I knew the drain field was because I built the house. And I thought, well, maybe I ought to stop and say that. And I thought, no, that's their business. I don't own that house. They don't want to hear from me. They sure don't want to see us redneck get out with his beard and everything. Go, hey, I'll tell you, I'll put a tree in the drain field. That's going to be bad. So we, several years passed. And I happened to be out that way, a couple months ago, and drove past that house. And I looked, and guess what? The tree wasn't there no more. But guess what? I bet they got a new drain field.
They got a new drain field. I bet they do too.
Yeah, I bet
they do too.
We're going to take that next time out, and we're going to talk a little bit more about that kind of stuff when we get back on the program. Little things to think about that you can do around your house. We would love to hear from you this morning, 865-932-7449. We got a substitute miracle method message line this morning. If you want to text me, you can do that at 865-407-8720 because I left my miracle method message line sitting on the counter next to in my office. So you can reach us on that one, 865-407-8720 if you want to text us. Otherwise, you can call us. We'd love to hear from you. If you don't want to be on there, that's okay too. 865-932-7449. More home improvement coming your way right after this. Tell them what.
We'll be right back.
Okay.
Whoops.
For beautiful decorative stones personalized with the message of your choice, visit Sandman's Workshop, 182 Old Mill Avenue in Pigeon Forge. Choose a stone from their selection, and the artisans at Sandman's Workshop will add family names, business names, pet names, just about anything. Get a marker for your overnight rental property, or let Sandman's Workshop create a pet memorial. Builders, Sandman's Workshop can inscribe bricks noting a family name or date of construction. Visit Sandman's Workshop next to Pigeon Forge Soap Company, 182 Old Mill Avenue in Pigeon Forge. Learn more at sandmansworkshop.com.
Hey, y'all, this is Rick Allen, and let me tell you about one of my favorite companies, Top Septic. If you need a new drain field, or maybe you're having a problem with your existing drain field, or maybe the septic tank just needs to be pumped, they are the folks that can handle it for you. They know what they're doing. They're an American-owned company run by a veteran who wants to give you the type of service that you're expecting. Top Septic. Call them today, 865-599-1690. 865-599-1690.
What happens when you take 20 years of experience hanging metal on NASCARs and you put that into another business? The business I'm talking about, Miracle Method Resurfacing in Knoxville. My buddy Chris Stacy and his team are there for the detail, there for as good as a job can get. They understand working with tight tolerances and working with a finish that has to be almost perfect. If you're thinking about redoing your countertop, maybe you're thinking about redoing that avocado green bathtub, or maybe you're thinking about that epoxy floor for your hot rod in your garage. Think nowhere else. Miracle Method of Knoxville is the place that can help your dreams come true about that new tile surface or any other finish in your home. Call them today. 865-693-5522. 865-693-5522. Tell them Rick's House sent you.
Save big on the products you need for winter vehicle maintenance at Napa Auto Parts on the Parkway in Sevierville. Claim a $20 prepaid card with the purchase of a Legend or Legend Premium AGM battery. A booster pack ES5000 12-volt jump starters, $139.99. Save on Scott shop towels by the roll or the box. A Light and Carry Mantis LED work lights, just $19.99. And Tubba towels, heavy-duty cleaning wipes are $14.99 at Napa Auto Parts on the Parkway in Sevierville. Listen up, Great Smokies. Foothills Furniture is having a huge red tag sale all month long. Discover amazing savings on bedroom sets, dining rooms, living room furniture, mattresses, and more. Don't miss out on these incredible red tag prices. Visit Foothills Furniture at 2509 Newport Highway. Like them on Facebook or check them out online at foothillsfurniture.net. Hurry in to take advantage of the red tag sale at Foothills Furniture. It's happening now.
2025, a time for new beginnings. Whether you want to buy a home or sell a home, call me. I can help. Terry Williams, 865-556-4111 or 392-5885.
When severe weather strikes, Mix 105.5 is here to provide the latest information with your severe weather alert. Brought to you by Sevier County Electric System. When you change phones, no matter if it's a landline or cell phone, make sure Sevier County Electric System has your new phone number.
It's only 14 days to Valentine's Day. Ignite the flames of passion with a gift from Sexy Stuff. Whether you're feeling mild or wild, we have something special for your Valentine. Highway 66, Sexy Stuff. We've got the stuff.
Mix 105.5 is powered by the all-new Rocky Top Ford, now open in our state-of-the-art location with our same great staff at 850 Winfield Dunn Parkway between Wilderness of the Smokies and Chick-fil-A. Rocky Top Ford, your Smoky Mountain Ford headquarters.
Hey, y'all, this is Rick Allen, host of Rick's House Home Improvement Radio Show on the road. Let me tell you about my friends at Knoxville Salvage and Old City Kitchens. Joel Popper and the team there have been friends of this program for a long time, and they want to be your friend. Friends, they have got the best cabinets, the best products. You say, Rick, is it seconds? No, everything's first quality. They do have some seconds if you want to get a deal, but not on kitchens and not on about everything they have in the store. So trust me, they're part of our team. They want to be part of your team. And in this environment where building materials are going through the roof, they're going to have the best prices on the best products in Knoxville or anywhere in the surrounding area. Call them today. See them online. KnoxvilleSalvage.com, OldCityKitchens.com. A Rick's House favorite. Don't wake up in the cold. Let CMG inspect and service your unit for extreme weather before there's a problem. Free estimates and second opinions. CMG Mechanical Services, LLC, 865-770-1561. 865-770-1561. Gas furnaces and heat pumps, new installations, gas lines, and gas log installations as well. CMG Mechanical Services, 865-770-1561.
WSEV-FM, Gatlinburg, Sevierville, Pigeon Forge, Tennessee's new mix, 105.5.
Waking up between you and Mama every Saturday morning. Lord, it must be a big old bed. You're listening to Rick's House.
Good Saturday morning to you. Welcome into Rick's House live on 105.5 The Mix FM. Good to see you this morning, Paul. Brother Paul, good to see you. Miss Cammie, good to see you and Tim out in Oregon with us this morning. It's early out there. Good to see you guys. My brother from another mother, my cousin Douglas, who is really my brother, listening to us in the beautiful land of Australia this morning.
Aussie.
Where it is Sunday.
It is very good. It is Sunday already.
It is Sunday already.
Wow.
Good to see you, my brother. I hope Kat and those beautiful twins of yours are doing fantastic. And good morning to everybody listening to us within the sound of my voice, whether it's worldwide on the web, on the live streaming from the station, on Rick's House, or you're tuned in if you're visiting our great place of where we live.
Oh, yeah.
From wherever you may be from. We're glad to have you.
We had a lot of people coming into town yesterday. Traffic was busy coming in.
Happening.
And I don't know why. It's February. Well, I mean, Groundhog Day is tomorrow, but
That's right.
That's in Pennsylvania. So
that's all right. Ain't got nothing on us. And Poconos is pretty, but they ain't got nothing on them great Smoky Mountains. Come on.
That's where I grew up. Poconos,
Bigfoot lives here. That's all I'm saying.
That's I'm feeling a little squatchy. Hey, there's not a county far from here called Sequatchie. So, hey, you know what you going to do?
My brother says, I am, and it's Sunday morning.
Yeah.
In Australia.
That's amazing.
Isn't that crazy?
That's amazing.
We have to coordinate when we talk.
Yeah, I guarantee.
Because of the time difference. Mm-hmm. And, man, he sends me pictures and videos of where he lives at the ocean. Beautiful. Mm-hmm. They stuff over there that eats you, though.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. We don't have that problem here.
Absolutely.
Nope. Unless somebody dumps something in the river. But
you know them big old 10 Sasquatches they got that you're going out the parkway. He's on the left out there. He's got those great old big metal ones. Mm-hmm. And they got all different. They got a little baby Sasquatch. Mm-hmm. They got a little medium Sasquatch, little teenage Sasquatch. Then they got mama Sasquatch. Then they got big daddy Sasquatch. I want one of them things so bad. I can't stand it. And I want to take the eyes out of that gorilla that they got up there on the parkway. Put them eyes in it. Put it back over behind the house and not tell my neighbors. Turn it on, let them flash at night. Did y'all see that?
Oh my gosh, we saw one. We were crossing from Illinois into Iowa, and we came across the bridge, and somebody down along the river had one in the grass down there. And at first look, you thought, "Oh my goodness, you're out in the middle of the day. There it is. There it is. Look up. And you're going, oh, it's just a tin cutout.
Oh, I'd have so much fun with that.
My gosh, can you imagine?
I will own one of those before it's over.
Yes, you will.
I will have one. Yes, I will.
That'll be awesome.
I'm thinking over there close to my brother Tim Burchett's house.
Hey, Tim Burchett, he's a supporter of that.
You know he is.
Yeah.
Listen, I love me some Tim Burchett. He's a good boy.
Yeah.
He does trying to do good for us. Good man. Good folks. So that's good on the program. We appreciate that. We have to get him in here. He's got he does a lot of home improvement stuff too.
Oh yeah, he's busy boy.
Oh yeah. Well, I don't know if he does any now. He's busy
in a sense.
Busy doing his thing. So it's all good. In the hood or in the holler, as my buddy Stan Johnson from Seed says. You know, if you're thinking about it, I got to have good Mexican food every once in a while.
Oh yeah.
Like every other day at least. I get the DTs, I start shaking. The only word I can mouth is burrito. But Luis and Nelson, Luis at Senor Taco down on Broadway in Knoxville, if you've not been down there, we've been eating there 22 years.
Goodness.
22 years. And so you go in and they're like, Rick, my brother, what do you want?
Mm-hmm.
They don't even bring me a menu.
Yeah.
Don't bring mama a menu.
No.
Just tell them.
Golly.
And she will have the ceviche Cameron on a tostado, no mayo. They put mayonnaise on that. I can't.
No.
I love mayonnaise. Don't get me wrong. I like some Dukes.
Some Dukes, yeah.
Yeah, I got a little lemon in it. Mm-hmm. Yes, sir. Little lemony taste. I was in there the other day, and I told the waitress what I said. Here's what I want. And she kind of looked at me. I said, it's okay. They've made it before. And so the manager came over. I said, I want you to take and make me a large burrito, which will feed me like 4 times because I only eat 4 to 6 ounces since I had weight loss surgery.
Yeah, exactly.
So I get to enjoy it over and over and over and over again. And I said, I don't want any rice and I don't want any beans in it because I have limited limited space in my stomach.
And you don't want to be taken up by stuff you don't really need.
And he's like, "Would you like a salad?" No. No. I got 4 to 6 ounces to fill up, and we ain't putting no lettuce in it.
No way.
Just every once in a while. So they have the best chorizo, and I didn't realize chorizo is a Mexican word for sausage.
Yes.
I didn't know that, but I know it now. I said, I want you to take and make me a ground beef burrito with chorizo in it. So being the chef that he is, he knew that you got to have 2 parts ground beef to 1 part chorizo, because if you don't, the chorizo will overpower the ground beef.
Yes, it will.
Then I said, I want you to put that red burrito sauce, not the enchilada sauce. The red burrito sauce. It's real tomato-y, got a little cumin in it.
God, I'm getting hungry.
Smother
you, Rick Allen.
Smother that on the top. Then I want you to take that white cheese that you just do for Americans. They don't eat it that much. But
the queso.
I asked the queso. I said, why can't you find queso cheese out west?
No,
it's very difficult to find a Mexican restaurant that he said that's for Americans.
Yeah,
I said, well, good. I'm American. Lay it to me, brother. Put it on me.
Smear that on.
Smear that on. Don't be stingy with the dipper.
Sounds good to me.
That's good.
And so he brought me this. She brought me this burrito, and she looked at me. She said, "It's fine." I said, "Oh, it's more than fine."
Oh my gosh!
And so it was 3 meals. Don't spit in your coffee, Rick. Delicious.
And you figured 22 years in business.
Absolutely.
They've been doing something right.
Absolutely.
Yeah. You don't see that.
It's interesting because the owner of that business, Roberto, and they're all family. Nelson runs Cancun and Halls, Halls Crossroads, for those of you that listen to us out there. And then they have Senor Taco on Broadway in front of Fountain Lane's bowling alley. He was a regional person for Western Sizzlin' or Western Steer one of those 2
Western
states.
Sizzler. Yeah.
Western Sizzler. Yeah. For years and years and years. And he also had the weight loss surgery. And so, they just treat you like family. You just go in, and we're immediately comfortable, we're sitting talking. And, it's our place. But it can be your place, too, if you go visit them, I promise you. And the seafood, they're from close to Acapulco. So they grew up on the coast. And the seafood is just, I can't even describe it. It's just phenomenal. The 7 Mares soup with mussels and shrimps. I said shrimps. Shrimps.
Shrimp is in there.
Some fish in there.
Shrimpy.
They dip the tortilla in there.
Yeah, I think you say it's hungry there, Skip.
Yeah, Lee, I'm getting hungry now.
I'm telling you.
I know.
Rick.
Ain't nothing like a fresh caught critter. In on a sandwich or in a something. I mean, there's a place I go down in the islands that they have a mahi sandwich.
Yeah.
And it's like they just caught the mahi that morning and made you the sandwich. And it's
everybody, and we lived in Panama City Beach for 13 years total.
Yeah.
7 years one time, 5 years another time, lived across the street from the ocean, and rented at least a house there. And the owner of the house taught my boys how to crab. And so they would go early in the mornings and late at night and take their crab nets and flashlights, and they take crab. They get the crabs. And so get the crabs. That don't sound right.
That actually sounds good to me.
Anyway, and so we'd get a mess of them.
Oh yeah.
And my wife would make crab cakes out of them. And right out of the ocean, right into my belly. It's so good. I mean, it's just fabulous. But one of the things there that I never had done until
yeah, easy for you to say.
I don't know why I'm tongue tied this morning, but I became a local, and once you're a local, you learn the local things.
Yes.
It's like if you're a Sevierville local, or a local, or whatever, you learn those things that the locals know where to go. And so one of the things that they did is they called them grouper backs. And so when they filleted the grouper, You take the filet that's left over and they deep fry it. They batter it and deep fry it. And that's got all the little bones in it and all that stuff. And it's just like eating a potato chip. But it has that grouper flavor. And if you'd have told me that I would enjoy the bones in a fish as much as I enjoyed the fish itself, I would have said you are nuts.
Yes, exactly.
You is
nuts.
crazy. Eat them things like he said. Man, we don't throw that away. We eat that around here.
That's it. You don't throw nothing away.
And so you learn. You learn all the little secrets. So Senor Taco and Cancun, they'll do anything you want to do, cater, make you something special, all that kind of stuff. So all good on the program. Man. I'm about a 1, maybe 2 if I'm really hungry taco guy, and I'm full. My wife said that's the cheapest date she ever had. She said our grocery bill got cut by 2/3.
Yeah,
after I had the surgery.
I bet.
So
I bet it did.
Good stuff on the program this morning. Again, utilize the rain that we've had. As we talked a little bit about this morning, for those of you just joining us on the program, if you've got a question for us, we'd love to talk to you about whatever your home improvement issues are. 865-932-7449. Don't let do it yourself become do it to yourself. And the little promo that we play at the beginning of the show that is become has always been my favorite, and I think it's becoming Skip's favorite.
Gosh, I love that.
That was done by a friend of mine, BC, Brian Christensen, and he was on the air for many, many years in San Francisco, of all places.
Of all places.
But he was my neighbor in Panama City Beach, Florida.
Okay.
And when you opened his garage door, there was no room for a car. His studio was in there.
Nice.
And his radio partner was in San Francisco, and he was live in his studio, and they had a video feed so they could see each other. And they did the show for years and years and years out there. Maybe still doing it. I don't know. I haven't reached out to Brian in a long time. Smoke about 5 packs of Camels No Filter a day. He's got that voice that's just, gravelly. And the way that came about, and I'll share this, and while we play it, I was on the air on another station, and it was back when people called.
Yeah.
Which is different today. Folks don't call like they used to.
Call, no.
I don't know why, but they text or they listen or they'll send an email. You can always do that, rickshouseradio@gmail.com. You can get us that way. And so this lady called me one morning because I used to be on from 6 a.m. till 10. Was the time we were on. And when they moved me when the program manager moved me to 6 o'clock from 8, I just looked at him and said, I hate you.
Yeah, that's early.
And he said, I promise you, Rick, if you'll do this, he said it'll be good. And that's why we're on 7:30 here because it's early. Folks are up. Home improvement people
are up already. Yeah,
they're up already. Yep. They're getting ready to go to the big box store. They're getting ready to go to the local hardware store. They're getting ready to get their stuff and do whatever they're going to do. Having their coffee. They've met somewhere. They're listening.
Going to flea market.
Whatever they're doing. And so this lady called in on the line, and this is what she said. She said, Rick, I said, yes, ma'am. She said, I just want you to know that my husband and I wake up with you every Saturday morning. And I said, you do? What do you say that? and she said, yeah. She said, we've got our alarm clock set to Rick's house. And she said, that's what we wake up to. And we just feel like we're right here in the bed with you. You're just right here in the bed with us. and I said, well, okay. And so, which was really a compliment, I mean, it was all of it fine.
Absolutely.
And so I told Brian about that, and he said, let me make something for you. And that's where that promo came from.
That's hilarious.
Waking up between you and Mama every Saturday morning, and then he gives it, Lord, it must be a big old baby. Because that's a big old fella then. I'm still good size, but not as big as I was.
Oh my goodness.
And I just love that because it's awesome. So unique to the program.
It is.
And I appreciate it. And it wasn't my idea.
Yeah.
It came from a listener.
And,
and any time that we can utilize something that comes from a listener, that's the best thing.
Absolutely.
If it's something we can help with or at least point you in the right direction. And we don't have all the answers. If somebody tells you they do, they don't.
No.
We typically have a good idea about what you're trying to do. And maybe a different set. That's why when we talk about CMG Mechanical Services, LLC, I love what they say is don't wake up in the cold. Let us give you a second opinion because so many companies nowadays, the strategy has changed as companies have become corporate.
Yeah.
And it's a different thought. The method of thought is it saves the customer money by replacing something because of the energy efficiency that you're going to gain from that. But many times, I don't agree with that. If it can be repaired, and sometimes, I don't know if your budget's like my budget, but repair is a better option for me.
Yeah. I don't have a champagne budget.
Maybe taste,
but
not the budget.
Not the budget. No.
Nope.
And so, sometimes a different set of eyes on something.
Mm-hmm.
There's so many times I've done a home improvement project as I physically worked in the field for many years. You get stuck on something and go ahead and tell them. Go ahead and tell him.
Oh, he's spitting his coffee.
Dang.
Now, why'd you do that?
As many of y'all know, I don't have many vices, but I do enjoy my coffee. And I grew up on a farm, and I grew up working in the tobacco fields, and as many of my friends did, and the hay fields and those kind of things. Thank you, my brother. I appreciate that. And so I brought something to.
They tried to stop him, but I couldn't.
It was too late. It was already done.
Yep, he done did spit in his coffee.
It's spitting my coffee.
Oh,
I like the wintergreen flavor, but not in my coffee.
My coffee, no.
No.
That's kind of like I'm determined to make the hillbilly version of GPS. Down to the barn down there. There's a red barn down there. They got a mailbox with a big bass on it. And turn right there. Now that's Lucille's. Don't do her driveway. Go to the next, and it's the one with the trailers way back up on the hill up there. Where I can understand it. And we're,
Oh, geez.
Yeah. That's why I don't like voice text.
I'll
send a bad message in just a heartbeat, and I'm like, how does it? I told my wife, I'm like, how did it get that out of that? She said, honey, listen to yourself talk.
Yeah.
When I first came into the radio business, and we, this year's started in January, our 25th year doing Rick's House in some form or fashion on there.
Wow.
And we're just so thankful for that, and helping folks, and that's what it's all about, is helping, maybe giving you a little entertainment along the way. But so funny because I had no idea I was going to get into this business. Although when I was little, I used to pretend to be a DJ, and I would record myself, and I never thought about it. And then when I went to college, I went into communications, and I figured out college wasn't for me. I needed to use my hands,
Yeah.
And there's so many young people out there today that do that, vocational skills. We can use them. And they can make a good living, and they can take that trade anywhere they want to go, folks. If you've got a young person that I'm not discouraging college. I think college is outstanding for those who want to pursue academics. I think it's wonderful. But if you're going to go into the trades, and this is something that we talk about, you should learn business. Because it's the construction business, the home improvement business, the music business, anything you do, you've got to learn those business things. I wish I'd have done a better job of that myself. But what I will say is encourage those young people to go into that, because you can take that anywhere you go.
Oh, absolutely.
And make a good living.
Absolutely.
And so those things are out there. But when they told me I fixed a guy's window. He called me one day, and I had been working for a company, and that company got bought by a bigger company, and the bigger company bankrupted the company that I worked for, and then put their company back solvent, and then bankrupted the company I worked for, and they paid themselves out in like 2 years. But it just business is, how they do things back then, and now, especially in corporate world. But so this guy called me on the phone, and he said, I hear you're a window guy. I said, yeah, I like windows. Windows are kind of my thing. I do a lot of window work. And he said, I've got a window in my house, and they say it can't be fixed. I said, well, it may be. I don't know. He said, would you come look at it? And I said, well, where are you? And he told me he was out on the west end of the beach. This was in Panama City. And I said, well, and it was hot. It was like 105, and I'd been working all day on the project, and I was actually doing some framing inside a house, and I was hot and sweaty, but I was close to him. I was like 3 miles from his house.
Yeah.
And so I said, well, let me run by there and look at it. And he said, when? I said, well, I can be there in about 5 minutes. If, he said, yeah, I'm home. I'm off. I said, okay. So I went there and I looked. Well, when I did windows back in the day, you always take the windows. When you take a window out to replace it, I would always collect the hardware off of the windows. You take the aluminum and you scrap it for scrap. The glass just goes away because it's usually the seal's broken in it. It's got moisture in between the panes. You can't utilize it anymore.
Nope.
But the hardware, the balances, the locks, the cranks, whatever was on it, especially in Florida, because there's a lot of single glass windows and that kind of thing down there.
Mm-hmm.
So I had a box truck and I would just put the parts in my truck. And so I went into his house and this was a window in a bathroom. And what had happened is back then they made the balances. They use some windows still use the block and tackle balance, but these had a spring in them, and the spring was not galvanized, so it would rust and break, and the balance would break. Now they use what's called a constant force balance, which is a wound, like a clock spring piece of stainless steel that's impervious to about anything except muriatic acid when they clean it. If you have those systems, you need to watch your windows when they clean your brick on your house, because the mist of that muriatic acid will pit that stainless steel and cause the balance not to work properly.
Sure will.
So that's an issue. So I looked at it and I said, hang on, let me go to the truck. So I went, I pulled it out, and they're stamped with the number 2430, 1830, whatever the window size is. And I had two of them. So I went and got them in the truck, popped the window sash out. You flip the two things up at the top, and there's a little tab up there, and you raise the window up, you scoot it to the left, and the window sash comes out for the bottom sash on a single hung. And then the balance is got a little hook that hooks in the side of the frame, and you take those off, and you put the new one in, you put the window back in, and push it back to the right, close it, and put the two things down. It's 5 minutes. It was done. He was like, man, how'd you do that? And I said, well, it's just something I do, and he was like, well, how much do I owe you? And I said, I told him whatever it was. It was minimal, service charge.
Sure.
I didn't care. I just wanted to fix his window and go home.
Yeah.
It wasn't a big deal. And he said, will you take a check? And I said, yeah, I know where you live. So, he wrote me a check. He said, I'm going to call you. He said, I'm off Monday. This was on Friday afternoon.
Mm-hmm.
He said, I'm going to call you Tuesday. He said, have you ever thought about doing radio? And I said, no. And then I'm thinking to myself, hey, where's he going with this?
Yeah.
That's an odd question. I never ever had anybody ask me that. And I went home and told my wife, and she was like, yeah. Did you get paid?
Yeah, exactly. I got a check.
I got a check. She said, oh, well, that's great. I said, hurry up and put it in for it. No. But anyway, all jokes aside, and it was good. And so Tuesday morning, he called me and he said, I want you to come to the radio station. He said, I'm the sales manager. And he said, and I also do the jazz station. And he said, why don't you come in, and we need a home improvement show. And I said, okay. So I went in, and Doc Washburn, who is in Arkansas now and sits in for Mark Levine and several the big dogs these days, is a great guy. And he put me on the air with him, and I sat down in front of that microphone, and he started asking me questions, and I started talking about it, and I was hooked.
Yeah.
And that's how I ended up in the business. That was 25 plus years ago.
Wow.
And so we've been trying to do it ever since, and very fortunate and very thankful to have great sponsors and a great radio station like The Mix and the other stations that we have to do that at. And hopefully we can help you with whatever that is. But you got to call us.
That's it.
Yeah. Oh, we can't do
That's that old commercial. Pick up the phone.
Exactly. Or email us or whatever. And we get lots of emails, and I appreciate all those as well. So I appreciate everybody listening to us. But I will encourage you, whether it's with my show or with the real estate show coming up or the law show, whatever show that you have. What's next? Is it Law Talk next, or is it
real estate shows?
Real estate show. Hold on. The real estate show.
That tongue of yours today. I'm telling you.
I must have been that pizza we ate last night, right?
Must have.
It was good though, wasn't it?
Yep.
And you had a bowl of potato soup too.
Yep.
And some sour cream and onion chips.
Yep.
Healthy eating right
Boy,
there.
healthy. He young. He can
He's
handle
young.
that.
Ain't no problem.
No, he can.
But
for me.
all that being said, if we can help you with whatever your home improvement project is, we want to do that. If we can, at least point you in the right direction, or try to anyway. So that there will be problems when you do construction. When you because there's so many people involved, things get misordered, things don't come in, things get broke. There's a misunderstanding, those kinds of things, and that's why communication is the most important thing for any home improvement project that you try. But what I was going to say is whether it's with my show or whether it's with somebody else's show or whoever, if you utilize one of the people that they're recommending to you on their program, please let them know.
Yes.
Let the company know, hey, I heard about you on Rick's House, or hey, I heard about you on Law Talk, or hey, I heard about you on the Real Estate Show, or hey, I heard Skip Roberts talking about you during the ball games. Because that helps everybody that's doing that and allows us to stay on there.
Absolutely. It sure does.
It's an important thing.
We can't do it without them.
We can't do it without them. And, God bless them that they do it for us. And we've got a great team. And we talk about, hadn't had a chance to say this yet today, but Cozy Mountain Cabins are great folks up here. And it's been with us probably for 15 years now. Anita and her team over there, if you're coming back and you're looking for a different place to stay. I know a lot of people that come to our beautiful part of the world, they've tried different companies, stay in different places. Sure they do something different every time. Not because there's something wrong with where they're staying. They just like to do something different. Hey, let's stay on the river. Hey, let's stay on the creek. Let's stay in downtown. Let's stay, wherever that you're doing that. Cozy Mountain Cabins, Anita does a great job with that. She's a veteran, and I promise you get out the toilet in one of her houses. I'm telling you. No need to bring the foamy bubble. It's clean and ready for action.
That's awesome.
Bounce a quarter off the bed sheets. That's what I'm talking about. And ain't nothing else bouncing off of there either. It's clean.
That's awesome.
Cozy Mountain Cabins, 865-660-300. Hebo 0340 865-660-0340. Or find them online at Cozy Mountain Cabins with a Z, and just let them know that Rick's House sent you. So we got that kind of stuff. Carson Newman coming up this afternoon. You'll be on the call?
No, I'll be back here
running the board, making it happen,
make them sound pretty.
Well, it does. It sounds fantastic.
That's awesome. Thank you. We do what we can. We try and get it all blended between their live sports thing on their website with us and merging everything. And it's a fun time.
Fortunate to have Carson Newman University close to us. What a great job they do over there.
What a great school.
Great school. And just athletics are phenomenal. And Coach Sparks was there for so many years. He was a Gibbs boy, by the way.
Wow. I did not know that.
His first coaching job was at Gibbs.
Was it Gibbs? Wow.
Sure. Back in the day, he coached there for a year. And and if you haven't had a chance to watch the Ken Sparks story, the documentary about him, that is a phenomenal about who he was and how he affected so many young people in this part of the world that came here from other places too. So lots of good stuff to watch on the program. And be sure to listen to your favorite radio show, Home Improvement Show.
Yeah, exactly right.
Let me know what it is.
You
might want to watch it too. Learn something.
Oh my gosh. You never know. Never know what you're going to learn tonight.
You never know what's going to happen there. Coming up next weekend, our friends at Weekend RV Center are going to be showing off all the campers over there.
Wow.
And they've got some great folks that can come out and handle things for you, service you later. You can take it to them. Man, they got a team over there. We went from a 6-gallon water heater. I've said this many times on the show. 6 gallons. Mama is not happy with 6 gallons. I promise you. She don't get to do girl things with that. Me, myself, I don't need much, even though there's a lot of me. I'll take that military kind of shower I did until they put in a constant hot water system for me that on demand hot water, and you can turn it on, and as long as you don't run out of gas, which they don't use hardly any. I was so surprised. Uses very little LP gas to heat that water up to 120 degrees. And man, it'll of course like I
It'll
said,
heat it up
I
for
could take
sure.
it. I could take it a little cooler than that, but Mama, the ladies, they're used to washing things, and their hands are tough.
Yeah,
I got little sissy hands. Put my man bun up.
Oh, no man bun, no man bun.
No, thank you.
So
that's awesome.
So we've had a lot of fun on the program today, and we certainly appreciate you doing that. Do we need to hit another set of timeouts?
No, we can go. We can roll from here.
We can roll from here. All right.
That's good.
Make sure we got everybody in there.
Yeah, we're good.
And included, go by and see them, folks. I promise you that my sponsors will take great care of you and any of the sponsors you hear on the station. If you hear me talking about them, I don't talk about everybody.
No.
Just don't.
No.
Don't care how much money they got. It don't matter to me. If I don't know them, if I've not had experience with them, I'm not going to talk about it until I do. And by the way, our newest sponsor, Preferred Modular Homes, with Scott and Ben over there, as I say in the commercial, whether you just want to change a few things or you come in with it drawn on the napkin, that modular home, they can do it. It's just amazing. It's a whole different kind of building.
That's awesome. Because you got other places that it's
cookie cutter.
Yeah, cookie cutter. It's the same. They're same. I toured a facility one time, and it's just an assembly line, and it's all the same. And it's nice to have something variety.
It is, and I spent in my younger years. I spent some time traveling with when I was selling and doing radio, and I had the opportunity to tour a lot of facilities like Georgia Pacific, Louisiana Pacific, McMillan Truss, and all these companies. And, one of the things that I don't think is mentioned enough, and something that just when you said that, it came to light in my thoughts, was that Georgia Pacific owns, I can't remember how many hundreds of thousands of acres it is in the United States. And they have a full-time team of scientists and foresters. So for every tree, and I can't remember the exact amount, so I'm going to spit a number out here that's close, but this has changed since the years I went through there. But say for every tree that they harvest, and I believe this is correct, and it may not be anymore, or it may be more, it may be less, I don't remember. But for every tree that they harvest, they plant 8.
That's nice.
So when you think about sustainable energy and the lumber that we use, and then you think about our forests getting depleted and those kinds of things. And here's the other thing that they do that I found was so interesting. As we come toward the end of the timeout, the hour here before we start the real estate show, when it's an old growth tree, let's say we've got a tree that's 200 years old that's been harvested. They don't take that tree completely out. They harvest it from a certain height, and then they graft seedlings onto that tree so that tree comes and bonds and grows from the old growth, which makes it stronger and provides other things to it. So they are truly looking toward the environment and managing that to make sure that they're putting back more than they're taking. It's amazing. Excellent. It's amazing to see if you've never had an opportunity to see how that operation works. And when you have a place like Roseburg Lumber, which I visited out in Oregon, it's one of the largest manufacturers. The machine that they have that cuts it takes a log in. The computer immediately identifies it to the sawman, and it shows him the optimum way to cut that tree into what size lumber to use the most of the tree with as little waste as possible. And they're doing 85 tractor trailer loads. Back then, they were doing 85 tractor trailer loads a day of logs. So that's a lot of lumber coming out.
A lot of lumber.
But they've got a lot of lumber going back, a lot of trees going back in its place. And so it's a pretty amazing for conservatives. So those of you who are concerned about the environment, these companies, they got some stuff going on. It's interesting to learn about. It's something that will be interesting to look into. We look forward to having you back with us next Saturday morning. And I want to thank Wyatt for coming in today and telling us all about his opportunities with what he does with Special Olympics and Team Knox Vegas. And
Knox Vegas,
baby. And y'all got the ride on the big Tennessee bus, didn't you?
No, we did not.
You didn't?
No.
I thought when you went to Florida, you took that.
No, that That was the buses they had down there.
Oh, they had those down there. Okay.
They had them down there already, waiting on us at the airport.
Oh, to pick you up and take you.
Yep. Pick us up, take us to the resort, and stayed there for a while.
Absolutely.
And then came back home.
Can't beat that.
Can't beat that.
Well, stay tuned for some great programming coming up. Brother Skip, a great job as always. Hit us up during the week. We'd love to hear from you. rickshouseradio@gmail.com. If you've got something you want to know about or somebody you want to have, we're trying to get our folks from Miracle Method in, although it's wrestling season and he participates in that. So to talk about those kinds of things, we'll have a guest next week, and we'll be talking about something home improvement or new construction, or maybe it'll be something RV related, but we'll be talking about something we'll learn together. God bless you. Thank you for taking time out of your busy morning to share it with me. I will say to you, take a chance to love those babies, wrap your arms around them, and to spend time with them and those family members, because I promise you, you never know. I can tell you from experience. God bless you, and we'll see you next Saturday right here on 105.5 The Mix. It's Rick's House. Wyatt, tell them.
We'll be back later, folks.
Real estate. Are you thinking real estate? I've thought about it for the last 31 years.